Howdy toddy, Rebel fans. Welcome to a special solo edition of the Rebel Nation Conversation with me, UM Rebel Fan 69. I just wanted to come on here and do a solo on a few thoughts I've had over the past few days. As you know, I cut up these videos to put on TikTok, and in doing so, my algorithm gets flooded with videos that fit into the same genre which we are creating. One such creator is known as SUV Sports. Let's throw her up here, guys. There she is. SUV Sports is hosted by this lady. This lady, let me tell you, she has been pretty much obsessed with Ole Miss, and more specifically the whole tampering drama that is started up by Dabo Swinney, the Clemson head coach. Now, as you can tell, she is a Bama fan, but can't tell it from her content. She cares more about the happenings at Oxford at Ole Miss than she does in T-Town. In a TikTok video posted on January 24th, she did her damnedest to try and state rules that she obviously has no clue about. And all of this in hopes of making this case way more than it is. She claimed all kind of harsh penalties, stating it was a level 1 violation. It is not a level 1, it's level 2. But that didn't stop her. Now, when I commented that it was not level 1, she went on to state about an alleged text from Pete to Luke Farrelly showing a picture of $1 million check. She stated that all NIL over $600,000 had to go through the NCAA clearinghouse. Well, folks, I'm not going to dispute that. However, what this obviously clueless woman failed to understand is that would be out of rev share, and therefore it does not have to clear. It does not have to go through the clearinghouse. So again, woman has absolutely no idea what she's talking about. Nothing. I mean, it's amazing. It just goes to show just how little she knows. And I have since made another comment on that video, urging her to stop trying to spread this misinformation. But she cares nothing about the truth. She just wants to bang her anti-Ole Miss drum and carry on an agenda. But again, folks, it's a level 1, and so I mean, I follow Neil McCready, I follow Tyler Siskey, I follow Chase Parham pretty closely, and they all pretty much all agree that it's going to blow over, number 1. But number 2, at the very worst, they may make us miss an evaluation day on the class of 28, which we get to do once a year, 27-28 class, for like 2 weeks. Well, okay, it doesn't really matter anymore, right? We're not going to evaluate those kids too much. We can get them out of the portal. We can do all kind of stuff, and the kids don't care much about that crap either way. All they care about now is, all these kids care about now is straight up NIL and rev share, and just how many zeros is on the end of that check. Woman's clearly obsessed, but it gets better, folks. It gets better. A few days before that video, on January 21st, she posted a video about red shirt rules. I'm not going to try to link these videos or nothing. You guys can find her. SUV Sports is her handle on TikTok. You can look up her video on January 21, and where she claims it's about red shirt rules. She claims that in that video that coaches want to stretch the amount of games a player can play in and still carry a red shirt is up to 9 games. Right now the rule obviously is they can play up to 4 games and still claim a red shirt. They want to stretch it to 9 games. Now, I'm not here to dispute or corroborate that claim, but when the self-proclaimed sports expert claimed that it was Trinidad Chambliss that was leading that charge, well, that did get my neck hairs to stand up a little bit. Because whomever is trying to get the redshirt rule changed, it is not Trinidad Chambliss. What he is claiming that in 2022, he only played in 2 football games. And it was because of having what his doctors and trainers called grade 3 tonsillitis. That means that 50% or greater of his throat was closed off. Now, that's going to cause a lot of problems with trying to breathe. And for a football player, you kind of need to breathe. Now, there wasn't a redshirt rule in effect for Division II in 2022, and as far as his regular redshirt year, it would have been applied to the 21 season anyway. But however, what Chambliss is trying to get is a waiver based on the Division I rule for a medical redshirt. He's just trying to get a medical redshirt. Yeah, he's trying to get a 6-year out of the deal, but it wouldn't be the first time the player's trying to get a medical redshirt. I'm not going to talk about how this is going to get accomplished or whatever. It's going to happen, but I'm not going to talk about that. That's going to be a topic for me and Metal Rep to go over in a Rebel Nation conversation podcast. But this lady obviously doesn't care much about Alabama. This lady needs to worry about Alabama and stop trying to opine on sports topics that she obviously has no clue about. And especially at school, she has no information about. She can spew lies and false information about Alabama all she wants. But you can rest assured, when someone cares more about Ole Miss than the school they claim to support, I will call them out for being as dumb as they look. Very disingenuous, Mrs. SUV Sports. Well, folks, that's about all I have to discuss for this solo edition of the Rebel Nation conversation. Until next time, hotty toddy Rebel fans, and go to hell, LSU.